Hello, and welcome back to The Power of Now, a guide to spiritual enlightenment with Gilda and Barbara. Today, we're doing a book study on A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose, written by Eckhart Tolle, and we hope you have your copy so that you can follow along. Today, we are on Chapter 10, Section 6, A New Earth, Awakened Doing. My name's Barbara Wainwright, and I'm here with Gilda Simonet. Welcome, Gilda.
Thank you. Awakened Doing. Awakened Doing is the outer aspect of the next stage in the evolution of consciousness on our planet. The closer we get to the end of our present evolutionary stage, the more dysfunctional the ego becomes, in the same way that a caterpillar becomes dysfunctional just before it transforms into a butterfly. But the new consciousness is arising even as the old dissolves.
We are in the midst of a momentous event in the evolution of human consciousness, but they won't be talking about it in the news tonight. On our planet, and perhaps simultaneously in many parts of our galaxy and beyond, consciousness is awakening from the dream of form. This does not mean all forms, the world, are going to dissolve, although quite a few almost certainly will. It means consciousness can now begin to create form without losing itself in it. It can remain conscious of itself even while it creates and experiences form. Why should it continue to create and experience form? For the enjoyment of it. How does consciousness do that? Through awakened humans who have learned the meaning of awakened doing.
Awakened Doing is the alignment of your outer purpose, what you do with your inner purpose awakening, and staying awake. Through awakened doing, you become one with the outgoing purpose of the universe. Consciousness flows through you into this world. It flows into your thoughts and inspires them. It flows into what you do and guides and empowers it.
Not what you do, but how you do what you do determines whether you are fulfilling your destiny. And how you do what you do is determined by your state of consciousness.
A reversal of your priorities comes about when the main purpose for doing what you do becomes the doing itself, or rather, the current of consciousness that flows into what you do. That current of consciousness is what determines quality. Another way of putting it, in any situation and in whatever you do, your state of consciousness is the primary factor. The situation and what you do is secondary. Future success is dependent upon and inseparable from the consciousness out of which the actions emanate. This can be either the reactive force of the ego or the alert attention of awakened consciousness. All truly successful action comes out of that field of alert attention, rather than from the ego and conditioned unconscious thinking.
I love this section because I feel like I am doing this. I'm doing this a lot. I'm asking, what's my next best step? Which I ask frequently. It's like, okay, universe, give me some direction. What should I be doing next? And then when I do something, it's with my full conscious attention. I do it with love. I do what I do with presence and with love and the intention of uplifting whatever it is that I'm working on. So one of the things I'd like to share right now is that I finished my book. It's available on Amazon now. And that was a work of love and presence and paying attention and encouragement from people to get it done, and just really honing in on what's my next best step. And getting that book done and published came up a lot. So, what I'm excited about that, and I guess this is as good a time to announce it as any, is that Gilda and I plan to read sections from that book moving forward after we finished with this book, A New Earth, which I believe we have a few more weeks to go. We have 6 more weeks of this book to go before we are done with it, but we have another project to work on, which is Awakening to Divine Purpose. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading your book on the podcast. It'll be fun to like revisit the whole spiritual awakening process and I guess all the stages that you can encounter. It'll be like a nice refresher.
I like where he said we're in the midst of a momentous event in the evolution of human consciousness. I love that. I believe that we are. It is so interesting to me. And I don't know, like attracts like and all that kind of stuff, but I am speaking with more and more people that are on their spiritual path. They're awakening and they're maybe are going through the dark night of the soul, or maybe they're already on the other side of it, but they're awakening. And I don't know if I'm talking to more and more people that are awakening because I wrote the book and I'm attracting more of those people into my life or what, but I get it. When he said there's a momentous event in the evolution of human consciousness happening, I see it. I don't know about you. Do you?
I do see it and I love it. And I love how he describes it the same way that a caterpillar becomes dysfunctional just before it transforms into a butterfly. Just that new consciousness is so cool. And I do see it more often now.
I think we're attracting those kinds of people because we are being them, and because we're in the being state, in the present state, and we're becoming more and more and more conscious, that we are attracting more conscious people to us. So it's a law of attraction, I believe, at work here. And that's probably why we're seeing more awakened people, because of the law of attraction. I don't know
I
if that,
love that because I feel like how he says here in the book, consciousness flows through you into this world. It flows into your thoughts and inspires them. It flows into what you do and guides and empowers it. And I love that because I feel like when you are actively doing that, you do kind of open up that window of opportunity for others who are conscious to come into your life. Do you agree with that?
oh yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I think that the more present you stay, and right now I don't know anybody that's 1,000% enlightened to the point where they never fall into unconsciousness. I mean, I certainly catch my egoic mind going off, and then I remind myself, yeah, there it is. There's that egoic mind. I don't act on it. I don't say what my egoic mind says out loud. I recognize it and go, oh, there it is again. I'm glad that I don't have to act on it. I'm glad that I'm conscious enough not to say the things that come into my mind, because I think some people say whatever pops into their head, it comes out of their mouth, and that's not a good thing, you know. But
Yeah.
so I'm glad that I'm present enough and awake enough to recognize the egoic thoughts and dismiss them and say, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. And then when the higher consciousness thoughts arrive, like, you need to write your book now. Oh, okay, I gotcha. I'll get on that. And writing a book takes time. So this thing was a long time in the process. But I think the more that we can stay present, the more we're going to attract people to us that are also awakened. And I believe that we will awaken people even more because of our presence. So people that will be coming into life, they might be attracted to us because of our presence, but what's going to happen to them is they are also going to awaken even more because they are in our presence field.
I love that. And vice versa, right? Because sometimes we could be slipping and someone else is present and we get,
Exactly.
tapped into their
Exactly. That is so
essence.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is so true. That is so true. But this is a very important section, I believe, just because he's pointing out that when you are doing from a place of presence, things are going to change for you. I mean, in the last paragraph, he says a reversal of your priorities comes about when the main purpose for doing what you do becomes the doing itself. In other words, I don't know, he goes on to finish that sentence, but really, in other words, what I'd say about that is if you're bringing your full attention, your full presence, and your love energy into whatever you're doing, it could be washing the dishes. It doesn't have to be something cosmic. It could be washing the dishes or doing laundry or making the bed or, taking a shower and spending time really, getting clean, getting your body clean. All of those things can be done with presence and with love. And when you do those things with presence and love, then you are going to attract more love and present people into your life.
It's so true. It's so magnetizing how it works too. Like
Yeah,
you'd be surprised just like walking down the street, like, like to turn right instead of left. And then you encounter like all these people who are just also in the moment and you'll see them like smelling the flowers or, how they're like walking their dog. It's just so peaceful and you can just see that they're just like taking it all in. And I love how that works. Like it could just be that quick, you know? And I love it.
yes, it can be that quick. And I wish that everyone that's listening right now, that means you that are listening right now, could take a moment and take a deep breath. And whatever it is that you're doing right now, do it with your full presence. Do it with the intention to be present, to bring love to that situation, whatever it is that you're doing. And see how what you're doing can be done with beingness, presence, and how different it is when you do that. And then maybe the next time you get ready to go do this same thing, you'll do it with the same intention and the same presence and the same love. Until next week, be present. Do things with love. See you next week. Bye now.
Bye.
If you've enjoyed this podcast and you'd like to go deeper into a spiritual conversation, you can join our Facebook group, The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment with Gilda and Barbara. Or you can contribute by going to wainwrightglobal.com/go/support.